Hey guys, I'm back with a brand new video and I'm going to try and post as many videos as I can this summer before I head back to school in the fall. So to kick off my summer videos, we're going to be making Rick and Morty cupcakes. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Rick and Morty. It's like one of my favorite shows. I just think this show is like fantastic. It's got, you know, like the sci-fi adventure stuff, and the comedy's really great, and then the characters are just amazing. Like Rick is personally my favorite character. I love him. You guys are actually probably watching this video on the premiere day because I'm probably posting this on Sunday. So that means that the Rick and Morty premiere is tonight. And I am so excited for season 5. I just absolutely love this show. And I think these cupcakes are just perfect to eat while you're watching the premiere. So yeah, let's get started. For this video, I'm basically just going to be showing you guys how to make some buttercream frosting for your cupcakes, and I'm going to show you guys how to decorate the cupcakes to be Rick and Morty themed. So I'm going to show you how to make the frosting first. So for this buttercream recipe, it makes about 4.5 cups of frosting, so it's a large recipe. And the ingredients you'll need will be 2 sticks of unsalted butter softened, 3 cups of powdered sugar sifted, and if you don't have a sifter, you can also use a strainer, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and 2 tablespoons of milk, but you could also use heavy cream or half and half. So here I have my stand mixer and I'm using the paddle attachment, and the first thing you're going to do is take your 2 sticks of butter and on a medium setting cream the butter until it is smooth and has lightened in color, and that should take about 3 minutes. So next we're going to take a half a cup and we're going to scoop the powdered sugar and put in half a cup at a time and just mix it until it's incorporated. So I'm just adding in half a cup and then I'm going to mix it up. It's already incorporated, so now I'm going to add another half a cup. And you just continue doing this until you've used up all your powdered sugar. Now we're just going to turn it up to a high speed just for 10 seconds, just to lighten up the frosting color. Next we're going to add in the vanilla extract and just take a pinch of salt. And then just mix that in until it's well incorporated. And finally, you can add in your milk, heavy cream, half and half, whatever you chose to use, and just mix that in until it's incorporated, and then the frosting is done. So now it's time to dye our frosting. So I have some green food coloring and some yellow food coloring because I'm trying to go for that light green color to represent the portals that Rick and Morty travel through. So I'm going to add a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, and see if we can get a light green color out of that. And then I'm just mixing it up with my spatula. So I got a color that I like, so I'm going to stick with this, but if you want your frosting color to go a bit lighter, maybe add a bit more yellow, and if you want it to be a bit darker, then add a bit more green. And just experiment with it, see what color you get. But I'm happy with this. I think it's the perfect shade of green. So yeah, we're going to use this. So now it's time to decorate our cupcakes. So I just put the green frosting into a piping bag with an open star tip, and now I'm just going to frost the cupcakes. And a thing to note about the frosting is that you don't have to stack it super high because we're going to be putting fondant decorations on top. And then just as an extra little decoration, I have some yellow pearl sprinkles and some green pearl sprinkles, because if you look closely at the portals, they have kind of like little dots in them. So these are just an extra little detail to add. So I'm just going to take some yellow pearls and sprinkle it onto each cupcake, and then I'll go back in with green pearls and do the same. You don't need to put too many. Just get a few on there. So now that we've put the frosting and the sprinkles on the cupcakes, I'm going to pop these into the fridge for about 30 minutes just to let the frosting firm up a bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys how to make the fondant pieces that are going to go on top of the cupcakes. So before, I filmed a little time lapse for you guys of me painting Rick and Morty's faces on 2 pieces of fondant, but there's a little prep work that you need to do before you start painting their faces. So first, I cut out these little templates. They look like this. So there's Rick's face, and then I have Morty's face. And basically, I just found these pictures on Google and cut them out. All you have to do is roll out a small piece of white fondant and then just cut around the template with a knife. And then once you have your fondant pieces cut out, I recommend to just let the fondant pieces set for at least a few hours or even overnight so that they harden up a bit, because that'll make it easier to paint on, so that the fondant won't be all squishy and won't like move around if you like press too hard with your paintbrush. If the fondant is set overnight, then you won't have that issue at all. And then to actually paint the faces on the fondant, I just used a bunch of different food colorings. And then I used a baker's paintbrush, and I basically just mixed a bunch of colors to try and match the colors on the pictures. And yeah, I painted their faces to the best of my abilities, and you guys are going to see a clip of that now. So fair warning, but I realized afterwards that my head kind of gets into the shot like a lot during this time lapse, and that was just because I was like focusing really hard in those moments. So hopefully you guys can ignore that and still enjoy the time lapse. But here I really put my painting skills to the test, and basically for this, all you have to do is just try and follow the picture to the best of your abilities. I drew this all by freehand, but if you're more comfortable with cutting out the pieces of the paper and making kind of like a stencil, that would probably be a lot easier and probably would save you a lot more time. But I was just more comfortable with doing freehand, so that's what I did here. So now the final step is just to take our Rick and Morty fondant pieces and gently place them on top of our cupcakes. But first you want to make sure that all of your paint on your fondant pieces are completely dry because you don't want to mess up any of your artwork. So now I'm just going to place the pieces onto the cupcakes. So I'll start with Rick. And I'm just gently pressing that onto the top just so it sticks. And they're finally done, guys. These are the finished Rick and Morty cupcakes. This was such hard work and it took so long to do, but I think it's totally worth it because now I have the absolute perfect dessert for the premiere of season 5 of Rick and Morty. I'm so excited to eat these. They look amazing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe because I plan to post a lot more videos this summer. And comment down below any questions or suggestions that you have for future videos, and also comment down below your favorite Rick and Morty character or your favorite episode so we can have a little Rick and Morty discussion in the comments section. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!